Well, it's Monday, September 12th, and what does that mean? Well, there's two things I love to do on Mondays that most people don't get to do because they have jobs. Drive a great car on my favorite road and ride a whole bunch of roller coasters without waiting in line. Today, we're gonna do both. We'll get to the roller coasters later, but for now, here's the car. It's the BMW 1M Coupe, and while I've been patiently waiting, taking your emails, asking me to drive this car, everyone else has been beating the crap out of it. That means we got it last. But I like to think of that as properly broken in. So, should we take it for a ride? Me thinks yes. You thought Lotus, what you were really thinking of was this. Let's start with the quick reasons why I think this car is an obvious collectible. One, limited numbers. They're only making about 1,500 of these for the US, and they're already basically sold out or being sold way over sticker at dealers. Two, flared fenders. Any car with nice, wide, flared fenders always becomes a collectible someday, doesn't it? And three, it's just so damn good to drive. Although it only has 335 horsepower, it is still an absolute rocket because it only weighs 3,300 pounds. The 1 Series M is sort of like a parts bin special. Now, normally when I use a description like that, it's not in a good way. It means the Corvette steering wheel came off a Cobalt, or a Bentley shares a key with a Volkswagen, something like that. In this case, it's sort of the opposite. You take the 1 Series, which is quick enough, but not all that interesting, and then you get all the really good parts, like the M3's brakes, suspension, and wheels, the competition ones to boot. Throw all that on a 1 Series, shazam! And then you add the engine from the Z4 S-Drive 35i. Yeah, I just said that in one take. Even though that engine's only 35 more horsepower more than a 135, it's all about the torque. And with the overboost function in sport mode, yes, you get an extra 37 pound-feet of it. So you get 369 pound-feet of torque for 5-second bursts, and there's no limit to how often you can use it. Just throw it in sixth, and if you see you need to make a pass, mash the gas for 3 or 4 seconds, boom, you're going 120, guy behind you, nowhere to be seen. Here's another reason why it's going to be a future classic. There's nothing complicated here to get outdated. Cars that rely heavily on electronics, like the Ferraris, the second the new one comes out, the old one starts to feel old, right? Like the Aston Martin Vanquish. Great car, feels old because the transmission's so slow. Here, you've got no nav, you've got a stick shift, rear wheel drive, no electronics to get outdated. This thing basically has the same electronics as every car from the last 15, 20 years, with the exception of the iPod interface. I think it could use a little more diverter valve noise. I like an aftermarket intake, so I hear a little turbo whoosh when I get off the gas. Likewise, a little bit of exhaust noise. It's loud, but not quite loud enough. I want to really hear it, because it does sound really nice. And lastly, it bothers me that I know the car could be even faster, but that it isn't. Other M cars have 100 horsepower more than the regular version. This one has only 35. The last couple of things I'd like to see on this car: why do you have to put the key in the thing and then press the button? Why can't you just leave it in your pocket and press the button? That annoys me. And no Alcantara on the steering wheel or shifter. That may be an option that this car doesn't have, but nevertheless, these are all nitpicky things. This car is awesome, and I would very much like to own one someday. I hope I can before they're worth $200,000. Everything else about it, killer. That's right, bitch. Well, if you want to experience as many G's as possible during the day, there's clearly only one solution. Spend the morning in a BMW 1 Series M and your afternoon at Knott's Berry Farm, riding each roller coaster 50 times. I'm Matt Farah. See you guys next time. If you can't see, you can't drive. It's why I hate the Camaro and why Lamborghinis come with backup cameras. It's also why I wear Dylan Optics sunglasses. They don't just look cool, they work. Their NIR technology reduces reflections within the lens, helping the world seem much, much more clear. Now we've partnered up with Dylan, and you can support your favorite online TV show at the same time you're protecting your eyes by going to TheSmokingTire.com and ordering some Dylan sunglasses. If you do, I'll throw in a free Smoking Tire t-shirt on the house.